someone who is willing to do the work to take back their power, to stand in their truth, to speak their mind, to be ready to face all of the stuff that comes with showing up, no matter the ups and the downs and the obstacles that come your way. That's an empowered woman to me.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman Podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice and business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. One thing I don't talk about enough is the impact podcasting has had on my professional life and how it opened so many doors for me. So if you want to start a podcast or you want to level up your current one, then you need to work with my podcast strategist, Deanna Merlino. She owns a podcast marketing and production agency, and her team takes care of everything from editing and optimizing to scheduling for you, making this process a breeze for you. She's seriously the best. All her info is in the show notes. You can go to juliannabarbati.com and tell her I sent you.
Hi, Deanna. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Marta. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a long time coming.
Yes, I know. Oh my gosh. So quick background. So I connected with Deanna. Was it during Manifestation Babe Academy or were we doing something else with Catherine?
It was her Epically Aligned program.
Epically Aligned. Yeah. So I think it must have been the first time that I did that. And then right after that, I did Manifestation Babe Academy. And we resonated with each other because the name of your podcast is Empowered with Deanna. I do a lot of stuff with empowerment as well. Obviously, this is the name of the show. And it's like, well, we should connect. And then we stayed connected for a while. I was on your podcast.
Yeah.
Then most recently, once I announced that I was inviting ladies to write a chapter in my next book, you rose your hand, which I was very, very surprised by that. It's still crazy to me that so many ladies said yes and followed through with it. So thank you so much. And we got to meet in person because you came to speak.
Yes, which was amazing.
At Denver Startup Week, which is an amazing event for entrepreneurs here in Denver. So yeah, you're up to so much good stuff. I'm so happy that we stayed connected, and that's the beauty of this online world. But anyways, without further ado, tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so this has been an amazing journey, but my name is Deanna Merlino, and first and foremost, always most importantly, I am a wife and a present mama, and everything comes after that. And there are a lot of hats being worn after that. But I am an intuitive life coach and energetic healer, and I have the podcast, Empowered with Deanna Merlino podcast. I have my Empowered Academy, which I created accredited and transformational online programs. And I have my Empowered Collective. I run a retreat business with my best friend and business partner. And my dad built 3 beautiful, massive rustic homes. And after he passed, I took over the business. So it holds 60 people. So it's like a monster of a business to take care of. So really, I am wearing all the hats and doing all the things. And like Marta said, we really connected and I got to be in the book. So now we are best-selling published authors. So crazy. And yeah, and I became a motivational speaker last year. So last year was the year of all the things. And this year is the year of slowing down a little bit and taking a breather and refocusing on my family.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with that, with being overachiever, high achieving. It was definitely a busy year, which, by the way, let me just do a quick plug here because why not? If you haven't read The Empowered Woman's Path, 21 Inspiring Stories of Success in Life and Business, you have to. So just go to Amazon, plug it in there. You can look for Deanna's name, Deanna Merlino or Marcia Spurk, or both, because we're in it together. And you can this amazing book with 21. Just each story is so unique and so inspiring. Get your tissues. Because,
seriously.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. So go on ahead and read it, and especially read Deanna's story, which we'll get to hear a little bit more about here today. So tell us more about your business journey and how you got to be doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. And actually, I think that's part of why I'm slowing down this year too, to gain some clarity, because I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I grew up with 2 entrepreneurial parents, and I knew that I didn't want to have a boss. And when I finally took the jump and left corporate America. It was literally 3 weeks pre-COVID. So like I took the jump and then 3 weeks later, the whole world shut down. So talk about like sheer panic attack. But since then, I have not stopped. Like I just immediately pivoted. At the time, I was in network marketing. So I shifted from in-person to virtual. I was like, I have no choice, figure it out, essentially, which is pretty much what the entire entrepreneurial journey is. But I really haven't slowed down since then. And once gyms started opening back up, I looked at, okay, so what can I really do? And I have had a love and a passion for fitness for well over a decade. I competed in bikini competitions. I did, I think, 7 or 8 up to the national level, was winning the overall in shows. So really committed to that lifestyle. So I decided I'm going to become a personal trainer. Why not? That's what I know. And I loved it. But literally, like, I've been slowly phasing out, but a month ago, I completely closed that chapter. And it was a very hard decision, like one that still feels bittersweet because that has been my identity for literally well over a year. But it all served its purpose because as I was in that journey, I started to realize I wanted to help people more. So I really just knew that it went so much deeper than that. There was something at the root of everyone's desire to look good or the way people were thinking about them. Like I knew without having any background in that area that there was something deeper going on. And it was at the same time that I began to have my own spiritual awakening. I was trying to get pregnant and we were struggling with that a little bit. And so I was introduced to energetic healing and it completely changed my life. And in that, I just realized this is the healing people need. It's not about the bikini. It's not about what size you're wearing. It's not about what people perceive you as. That's coming from somewhere, whether it's your childhood or the limiting beliefs or the experiences you've had up until this point. And so personal training for me didn't light me up anymore very quickly. It was very surface level and I wanted to dive deep. And so that's where that shift came from. And then I really focused on energetic healing. And then as I was helping so many people, I decided to pair what I learned in network marketing as far as coaching and having a large team because I was successful in that business. I paired them together. And so now that's really become my focus. And it was, I got a mentor and just the more we were diving in, I had my feet in 2 boats. I'm always the person who's like, burn the bridges, no back door, jump in full force. But I was still holding on to the safety net. And so I decided I have to burn the safety net and I just have to jump and trust. And on my heart, this healing and coaching and retreat space, that transformational, empowered woman space, right? That is what I want to do. And so that has been the journey. And it's still evolving. But now this year, as I close that massive chapter, I want to get crystal clear on exactly my strong suit, where I can help have the most impact on people and what that's going to look like moving forward.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so good for other entrepreneurs to hear this because how many times do we not feel aligned with something anymore? Mm-hmm. But whether it is for safety, because that's what's bringing in the money, or because it's your identity, like you said, and you don't know, who am I if I'm not this? And many times, what will people think if I just jump ship and start something? Yeah. Does it make me look flaky? Do I even know what I'm doing? If you have all the certifications, all of the whatever, and then you're jumping into something new. And I definitely am experiencing that and getting into music. It's at times it feels like you're starting over, which you know you're not. But then there's that part of you which is really our ego trying to protect, right? You just don't go there. You don't know what's going to happen. But just like you said, you have to trust. It's really a journey of self-trust. And on that, I'd love to hear, have people been supportive? Because I know that's a big part of it is, are people going to support me? Or are they going to think I'm crazy? Which most often than not, we have the support and it's just our minds creating stories. But how has your audience taken the shift and even your family? How has that been?
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. And I want to give a warning that it's not all sweet and sugary. And I think it's important for entrepreneurs to know that too. Overall, it's been amazing. I think one of the hardest conversations for me was to have with my husband because it was like, I jumped all in, and that's also the version of me that he always knew. And that's where we invested the money. So it's like, there were so many moving parts that I felt scared to be like, not scared, but just, I knew it was a big move. And at first it was the crazy eyes. What are you doing? But then it was at this point, he knows to trust me. He knows that When I get a pull to do something, it's for a purpose. And I know that everything that I had done wasn't in vain. And it wasn't that I was jumping ship because it wasn't working and I was just bopping around to things. It's me trusting that calling on my heart and knowing that it wouldn't be there if I wasn't supposed to be guided in that direction. And I really trust my intuition. And as far as my people, like in socials and in my client following, it's been amazing. And I did it very incrementally too. Like, really, it was happening over time. I made the decision to cut off the identity very quickly, but my offerings were changing, my socials were changing, my topics on my podcast were changing, the conversations we were having were changing. So it was a gradual change. And you will find your tribe. Your people will find you when you are showing up as your authentic self. But that also means some of your old tribe will fall away. When it comes to my friendships, they have massively changed. And it wasn't this big like explosion of, Deanna, who are you? You've changed. And then we have a fallout. But it was more so like the conversations just aren't being had anymore. There are friends in my life that I still have so much love for that we're just different people now. And I'm okay with that. Even when it feels hard and scary and new, I fully understand that this is part of the process and it's part of the growing pains. If you want something different and people are on a different path, that's okay. We're all on our own journey and the people you resonate with will show up. And those are the ones that you want in your business anyhow. So it's just casualties of the transformation, right?
Oh, this is so good to hear because it's strange because we see people going through these things, but then when it comes to us, and again, for that protection mechanism, whether it would be for someone else, it'd be like, oh, good for you. You're following your heart. That's awesome. And then when it comes to us, we could be harder on ourselves and be like, you can't do this. This is what you've been doing. This is what's safe. And I love what you said. Even though you made the decision, it was more
abrupt. Immediate.
Yeah, it was more abrupt. It didn't look like that from the outside.
Yeah.
And usually it's not. It's a transition. And because people are not paying attention as much as we think they are anyway.
Exactly.
That's something else to keep in mind for any of you that are considering shifting niches or just shutting down your business, starting something new. I don't know. Give yourself the permission. I have a mentor of mine that really inspired me because he had a business. He shut down his business because he got a really good job offer. He got fired from that job 6 months in, and he shared all of this publicly on social media. And then he restarted his business and had an amazing year. And this is real life. We have families, we're raising children, but we're also finding our stride, and that is okay. So thank you for being a role model to that and sharing it so openly because
it's so important. It's so important. I think that's one of my biggest driving factors is being open and honest and raw through it all. I think a part of us as entrepreneurs, that safety side wants to be like, I'm perfect and tidy and neat and everything is just a beautiful box because we're afraid that if we don't present it that way, that clients will be like, well, I wouldn't want anything to do with the person who doesn't have it all together. But that's just not real. It's just not. And more often than not, people are going through it, whether it's not the same thing. It is so much better and more my purpose to help people not feel alone when they're going through it and know, okay, if she got herself out of that pit, then that means I can do it too. And that gives me hope and that keeps me pushing towards my dream that much more. Social media has gotten so just glossy and like only looking at, I take that back. I feel like it's starting to shift, but I feel like for the longest time, social media was very much like my life is perfect and this is how it always was, when that's just not the truth. And I think as content creators and coaches and thought leaders and just all the things that we are, it's so important for us to be true and authentic.
Yeah, and it really is the opposite of what we usually assume, that if you don't present yourself to be perfect and put together, people are not going to be attracted to you. It's the opposite. They want to know that you feel, because it gives them hope. So that's a really good point. Well, tell us how exactly you work then with women in this new path of yours. What are some of your different offers? Tell us more.
Yeah, so I have a bajillion offers. I'm the person who, even though I'm a projector in human design, I feel like I sometimes operate more as like okay, I learned this and I want to put this course out and I learned this and I want to talk about this. But at this point, again, like in the slowing down this year, I just want to focus on my two most, and all the other ones are still there, but my attention is on the two offerings that I think create the most impact. And with that focus, I'm learning then I can create the most impact instead of being in 100 places. And so I have my 8-week spiritual life coaching program. And I feel like that's a good, it doesn't have to be a starting space. It could be for someone who is advanced, but still learning about the spiritual realm and universal laws. And really, that's my foundational program, looking at yourself, how you look at yourself, your values, your beliefs, your limiting beliefs, reprogramming them all. What does the world look like through your eyes? Doing that inner child healing, really looking at the manifestation process and how you can begin to curate the life you desire through yourself, because you are the one creating your entire life anyhow. It is a co-creative process, but it's on you to make the choice. And that's like my real core program. And then I'm super excited because on the 21st of this month, I'm actually launching my Empowered Embodiment mentorship container. I'm finally stepping into that role of mentoring. I got to a point with so many of my clients that were having these amazing transformation in my coaching program. And then they're like, okay, what's next? And I'm like, wait, I don't have a what's next program. And so I really feel called now to having that next stepping stone. And that is for the entrepreneur or the professional or someone who is already really in that realm that are looking for mastery and that next level of alignment and abundance and expansion, and really just honing in on their creative process and really opening up their intuition. So I'm super excited to have that now. And I feel finally like I don't want to call it a funnel, but my funnel is buttoned up. Like my offerings are airtight. I have the starting, like the offers of the courses and the one-off healing sessions, the one-off coaching sessions for people who are interested. And then the middle commitment with my spiritual coaching program. And then really like you are ready for that next level, the mentorship program. So I'm really excited about what comes moving forward for myself and all of the clients in my world.
Yeah, it feels so good to feel what you just said. My funnel is in place, even though
yes,
lots of triggers that can come with the word funnel.
Yeah, I know that's not the right word, but yes.
Yeah, no, but I know the feeling of having everything streamlined and it's too, and people understand where you're going with it, because that's one of the big challenges of going a different direction is convey what I want to do with what people actually need and make sure there is interest.
Yeah.
And one thing I was going to ask you is, where do the retreats come into place with that as well?
Yeah, so I'm actually so excited because I just got off of my first solo led retreat last weekend. So I normally, when we do the retreats, I have my retreat partner and we bring in a boatload of facilitators. It's just really powerful weekends. So I just did a one night and it was my first manifesting retreat as well. And it was also my first sold out retreat. So there was so many firsts that just happened this last weekend. And it was so incredible. And I learned I will not be doing a retreat outside of my lodge again. The retreat went amazing, but there's just something different about being at the lodge. So it's right outside of Ellicottville, New York. And my dad, again, built all of these spaces by hand. I even had my wedding there and he surprised me with a barn. The guy built a barn for me to get married in, which is so wild. And so now I host all of the events and the healings and the workshops in the barn. And it's just the most, like when I say magic, it's an understatement. There's just something special about the land. And it's not just me being like, my dad built it, it's magical. No, that space is just like a magical vortex of amazingness. And when I say there has not been one person who has left untransformed, I mean that with my entire existence. Like you just leave a different person to the best degree. Like everyone who has come in goes off. And I think I'm actually tearing up thinking about it. The people they grow into on the other side of being willing to not only invest, but look at the hard things and work through the hard things over an intensive in-person weekend is incredible. From fully changing career paths, finding their soulmate because they've really accepted self-love, just all these massive changes. That's what I want. Like that is my calling in this world, is holding space for people to take back their power and step into what they're really meant to do in this lifetime.
That's so beautiful. Before I ask you how people can connect with you and any special offers and resources that you have for us, I do want to ask you my $1 million question here on the show.
Ooh.
Ready? Deanna, what is an empowered woman?
An empowered woman is someone who is willing to do the work to take back their power, to stand in their truth, to speak their mind, to ask for their needs and their desires to be met, to be ready to face all of the stuff that comes with showing up as the version of you that God, source, divine, creator, spirit, whoever that is, to your higher power, the version of you who is ready to show up as that calling that was placed in your heart for a very specific reason, no matter the ups and the downs and the obstacles that come your way. That's an empowered woman to me.
Yeah, so powerful. I love it. Well, how can people find you and learn more about the offers that you've shared, upcoming retreats? Tell us more.
Yes. So my Instagram, which is where I'm most active at, is the Empowered Coach 333. And my website is www.deannamerlino.com. So super, super simple, super easy. Whether you want to pop on there and take a look around or reach out to me on social media, I will always respond. That is my connection space. I love being on Instagram and really getting to connect with people. So yeah, if any of what I said sat with you, I would love to chat more about it. And Marta, I just really appreciate you having me here and just continuing to grow our connection, and who knows what comes from it moving forward, because a whole lot sure has in the last couple years.
I know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else is next in our journey. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was so fun.
Yes, it was amazing. Thank you. And thank you to all of your listeners, just sending nothing but love.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends, or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.